In this episode, we are going to hear from Robert Brown of the John Birch Society, who claims that none of the delegates of the 1787 Federal Convention believed they had the authority to propose the U.S. Constitution. Yes, you heard that correctly. Not only that, but he has actually offered to pay anyone $10,000 to prove him wrong. I'm totally serious. I'm not making this up, and you have got to see this for yourself, so don't go away. Welcome to All Things Article 5, where we do a deep dive into the Constitution's amending provision to break through all of the misinformation out there and get to the truth. Whether you're an activist in regards to Article 5 like myself, or maybe you're just kind of new to the subject and want to learn more, this is the place to be. I guarantee you will not want to miss an episode. So please subscribe, hit the red button there, or whatever, the bell, whatever they have now, to this channel, and make sure you get notified as soon as a new video is dropped. So sit back and join me as we learn from the past, get engaged in the present in order to change the future. Now, I have seen denial before, but this one really takes the cake. Not only has Robert Brown claimed that there is not a single delegate of the 1787 Federal Convention that believed they had the authority to propose a new system of government, but he has doubled down on his claim by offering to pay anyone $10,000 to prove him wrong. And all they have to do is provide one quote from a delegate saying they had such authority. For someone who claims to be a, quote, constitutional scholar, unquote, and then comes out in public, not only making such a false claim, but offers $10,000 to anyone that can disprove it, it really demonstrates to me a couple of things. Number one, he obviously has a motive or an agenda to push, because to deny that there are no delegates who believe they had this authority is completely dishonest or completely ignorant. Those are the only real two options he has, and I guess I'm going to leave that up to you, my viewers, to decide. Secondly, to even use quotes from people at the convention as your proof to determine the power of the convention is completely erroneous. It doesn't matter what somebody said at the convention that determined their authority. What matters is what their principal, their state legislature, gave them in their written commissions, because that is the legally binding document that gave them their authority. And thirdly, I know Brown likes to talk about these commissions when describing the authority, but I find it interesting. He never likes to share the actual language from them. And I obviously know why, because as we will see in future episodes, they clearly had the authority to do what they did at the convention and provide us the wonderful Constitution that we have. So I'm going to be exposing his tactics so you can see for yourself. And the best part of all this is he's promised to pay me 10 grand. Sweet, Christmas is on the way. I've got some, some gifts that Dad wants, like maybe possibly a new ski package I could upgrade. So I'll use the money wisely, but that would be kind of nice. Now, if you are using Robert Brown or the John Birch Society as your source of information to oppose an Article 5 convention, you really need to subscribe to this channel. We are going to be providing you so much evidence countering their false claims. You're not going to want to miss a video. If you're seeking the truth and are willing to, at least with an open mind, challenge yourself, then this is the channel to subscribe to. Now, for some of you out there, and you know who you are, I don't recommend subscribing, because I care for your health. And I'm concerned that the amount of truth you will be exposed to will raise your blood pressure so high and cause you migraine headaches that you probably should not subscribe to the channel. I just want to give you a warning. However, on the other hand, if you are truly seeking the truth on this issue and are willing to be challenged from what you've been taught, then please subscribe. I guarantee you, like myself, once you learn the truth, you'll be glad that you did. I do want to warn you, you may experience an uncomfortable level of cognitive dissonance at first, which is the psychological state of having inconsistent thoughts or beliefs. Like the Constitution is the solution, but you're against the solution the framers gave us in the Constitution. Listen, just hang in there, because the cure for all that takes a little time, but I promise you it completely goes away as your brain cells experience the truth from the framers themselves. Just by reviewing history, it's just a little common sense, and trust me, it's well worth it. It really boils down to who are you going to trust? The men that drafted, adopted, and fought for the ratification of the Constitution, or the men that opposed it and fought against its ratification? The Federalists or the Anti-Federalists? If the source of what you believe has a track record of conspiratorial lies, should you trust it? Of course not. Let me introduce to you Robert Brown and his $10,000 challenge.
I put this $10,000 challenge out there. And at the end of this, I said, now, is there anyone in the room that wants to take the $10,000 challenge and find me even one delegate who said otherwise? Can you find for me any delegate in the 1787 convention who stood and said, yes, we do have the authority in our state commissions? None of them did that. And I challenge you to prove me wrong on that. You know, I've searched, and I've challenged the other side to provide any citations from the 1787 convention. Any delegate who, when this controversy came up, raised the statement saying, look at our commissions, we have the authority, let's move forward. There is not a single delegate in the 1787 convention that you could quote them supporting that argument, that they had full authority.
Some of you may have seen that I put a $10,000 challenge out there. And so I'm offering a $10,000 challenge, and it should be really, if we were to make a case that the 1787 convention was authorized by their delegate commissions to do this, first of all, at least one of the delegate commissions should say that, right? Second, can you find even one delegate who expressed that he felt the delegate commission gave me the authority? Can we find even one delegate who said, here's my commission, it authorized us to make any changes we felt necessary? And then lastly, if it wasn't a runaway convention, that should probably have been the consensus of the convention, that they had the authority. Yeah, the $10,000, I do have $10,000, there it is, right there, digital money. But I'm serious about this.
There it is. You heard it for yourself. So here is his challenge. Number one, find a commission that gave them all authority necessary. Number two, find one delegate that knew he had full authority. And number three, find one delegate that acted on that authority. Whoa, wait a second here. What if there's more than one? Does that mean he's going to offer more than $10,000? Is this $10,000 per delegate? Okay, so wait a second. I might be leaving a lot of money on the table here. I need to ask you guys a favor. Can you please find out from Robert Brown if he's offering $10,000 per delegate or per proof, or is it $10,000 regardless? Because I could be leaving a ton of money on the table. So I'm going to have to hold off until we get that answered. You know, that's a lot. And I am a capitalist after all. So next time we will start to answer that challenge, and it could be very lucrative. With all things Article 5, I'm Ken Quinn. I want to thank you for watching, and remember, experience must be our only guide. Fear will paralyze us, so fear not. Let's have some fun, and the truth will prevail. Till next time.